Friends, how are you doing? Kicking off second phase of me talking about stocks here with Channel 2. Thank you so much for being here. This is my new Whittle Bitty channel, Dealing with Money, Channel 2. It's almost got 500 subs. That is crazy. But thank you so much for being here. I want to talk about Sofi a little more. I want to talk about Qbts, D-Wave here. Two stocks I'm very excited about for their futures, what they're going to do. Two completely different subjects here with stocks, but these stocks are having incredible push. I mean, so let's go right into it. So Sofi here, I mean, this is an insane push. I mean, this is freaking nuts. So Sofi here finally getting attention, finally getting this situation. And I'm fully expecting Sofi to close out the year here at least $30 to $35. I think that is very reasonable by like December to really at least by January of 2026 this stock should be have a 3 in front of it and whatever's after that. But I think that's very possible. Listen, Sofi is about to enter this position here of $1 billion quarterly zone. Okay, that's huge. When companies start to produce $1 billion quarterlies here, especially with, it's one thing for a company to be in a position of they're just making their general revenue stream. That's one thing. That's great. But what you're watching right now with Sofi is that it's 100% in this realm of that it's increasing revenue, the growth of the company with customer basis, them partnering with a lot of different situations, how they are progressing into their platform, in which is really attracting a lot of customers their way. So Sofi is just in this genesis, very, I would say, toddler-esque stage of life where it's learned how to walk, it's running now, and it's just growing and getting bigger here. So it is very much still offering to investors. Listen, this is a stock that I'm not so much like, hey, this is a great short-term play. I look at the Sofi and I go like, this is one maybe look at for your Roth IRA, retirement, 5-10 years down the road. This is going to be something, as we can tell right now with pen to paper, mathematically, what's going on here with Sofi, the business model, numbers, money, all of it together, pacing of the stock. This is a good decision. So with that, Sofi here is about to release quarterlies. Now Sofi still is in this situation where this is going to be the last year where Sofi is not making $1 billion quarterlies. More than likely by 2026 here we're going to see Sofi be in heavy earnings, more than what we're seeing now, obviously. So Sofi, it will continue to more than likely have this catacomb of just heavy push. I don't think catacomb is the right word there, but what I'm trying to say here. It's gonna keep pushing here more than likely. It's found $20. Sofi here has not been at $20 since it essentially came to the market. This is like pre-COVID, and then obviously if you know the history of it, COVID came. Sofi here just got decimated because the majority, the bread and butter of their business model then was a lot of student loan. It was a student loan platform essentially, but to offer in banking essentially what they have now. But I almost look at this and I go like, maybe COVID was like such this moment for Sofi that really directed the company into where it's gone now, because we saw Sofi really redirect the company. Really, I remember things were coming out with Sofi then, like, hey, we're really going to focus on banking, we're really going to focus on loans, we're really going to focus on not really brick and mortar store, we're focusing on our platform, our apps, our technology, and that's really what they pushed into the investor detailed in looking in the box to that situation is that Sofi really went after the younger generation, and it's paid off dramatically. It has paid off. What's so good about that situation when we talk about that, especially with money and revenue, and this is why banks that are pretty much like solidified in our stock market and in our day-to-day economy. When we talk about like, American Express, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, these big banks that, their general quarterlies are like 40 billion, 20 billion, hundreds, and they have these dividends attached to them. Now, obviously, we're talking about some time that's going to be attached to SoFi to get to that kind of range here. SoFi, like I said, is just coming out of being a baby, out of the rocker, walking the kitchen, running around the kitchen, and now, going into some, getting it, growing up here. But that's why you have to really think about, what does 5 to 10 years look like here with SoFi? What does this look like for you as an individual investor? It could be one of the best decisions you ever made. And right now, it's moving up in price, but it's still a very affordable stock, I would say, to a lot of general investors, even if you're able to buy one share every 2 weeks, a week. And that's the thing too. I don't want to make anyone, feel bad. Listen, if you got $5 to be a part of the market, or if you got $100 a week to be a part of the market, I get both those. I've been at both those places, man. But trust me, don't look at that and go like, I can't be a part of this. This is just too much money for me. No, listen, I there was a moment, and I usually don't say this on the second channel. I was trying not to like blab my mouth here, but I want to say this to encourage someone. There was a moment in time in my trading life, investor life, trading life, where I really was like, what I'm doing is not working. I think like my first 3, 4, maybe 5 years, really, it started to really mix up there. But I was just going off a lot of like, I was investing in terrible companies, and I wasn't getting growth. I wasn't getting money back. I was losing, and the speed wasn't there, because I was trying to get into, stocks that were a lot more hype being pushed. But, I wasn't understanding that, these are not companies that don't have a future, okay? And that's what I'm trying to say about SoFi here. I keep wanting to talk about Palantir. What I'm saying about SoFi here is that it has a very bright future, okay? So if you can take your $5 now and just put it into something that has a bright future, instead of something that has like I don't know, this may work out, it's a little risky, Listen, I played that game for a long time, but when I finally started to go after stocks that had a bright future, and maybe the easiest play for you with that is you buy CVS, you buy Costco, you buy some ETFs, you push money into the S&P 500. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. I recommend you do that for a long-term play. But SoFi here is undoubtedly, as it continues to grow in, its market cap, as it continues to grow in its revenue, SoFi is going to be placed into ETFs. It's going to be placed into people's retirement funds. It's going to be placed in a lot of different situations that are going to continue to push it grow. Listen, it could be a short time, short time, it depends how people feel about time here, but let's say 3-4 years, SoFi could have a dividend attached to it. 100% could have a dividend attached to it. It may not be huge, but nonetheless, it's a dividend. So friends, listen, it almost feels like a gift to be able to see SoFi at this such youthful stage it's at right now. 100%. I think it offers so much to investors that you just want to shake people and be like, look at this stock. Look at it, man. It's just, you got to be a part of what's going on here with SoFi. You just got to be a part of it. Okay, so talking about D-Wave, this is another stock, very different stock. I am very excited about. And last time I talked about D-Wave here, I said like I don't think that D-Wave has found its market yet. I don't think that it's found its place yet in the market, but it nonetheless is getting attention. It's getting at least some attention that it should. Now I feel like it was yesterday when this was a $4 or $5 stock. Now obviously since then D-Wave here has come out with a massive quarterly compared to its other quarterlies. With that too, D-Wave is playing around in this decent position right now of $15-$16 back in that zone, and it wasn't long ago where D-Wave was playing around almost this $20 zone here. So with this Q2 that will be presenting itself in a very short time here with D-Wave, if they come out with another banging quarterly, this is going to be like a Cinderella story over here, where this stock is going to start really, really picking up the pace and stock price. Don't kid yourself. This could be, man, this could be a $20 stock here real soon. If this next quarterly delivers like we think it might, you better bet that, something's going to happen here. And there's no reason it couldn't. That's kind of the thing. Imagine if they come out, their last quarterly was it was right at $15 million, and they were only expected to make $10.5 million. They made $15 million. So, that's 4.5 extra $1 million on top of that revenue. So that's a lot of money for that a company right there that's usually doesn't even make $5 million quarterlies. They usually don't even make $3 million quarterlies. So D-Wave here is in this very unique situation where it's kind of like people may just be getting in at the right time. Does that make sense? It's hard to say, because I want to say this too, with all being sincere, serious, everything. It's hard to say like where this is going from here, because we don't have, all we have is the track record before. Now, obviously Q1, a lot of deals that came into play, partnerships, everything, a lot of stuff started to happen here. Quantum computing stocks had their moment, in the market here. I mean, it was like lickety split. Now no one's really talking about quantum computing, but I do think that there will be a craving here in the market. I don't know that it's going to be this year, because it's not really in the zeitgeist of the market right now, quantum computing stocks. But nonetheless, there is a large, small community that is watching quantum computing stocks. And D-Wave here is obviously in that category, especially since they have picked up the pace here with what's going on here. So, friends, like I said, it's hard for me to really say, look at what's happened, because, look at what's happened. It hasn't been great, but look at what has happened since Q1 of 2025. Whoa! So this is new territory. This is a new part of the beach that we've never been on, and we're gonna keep seeing if it's luscious and beautiful on the other side of the hill here. And it might be. But if you look at the candlestick chart here too, it's a bit of like a teapot has been made here back, right before July, and it's kind of really been taken off here. So to me, D-Wave is just looking for more of an excuse at this point to run back to $20. I really do feel like that. And if this quarterly that comes out allows that, even if they just come out with another quarterly for $15-16 million, that's still like, holy friggin' smokes. Because what does that mean? That means this company is in a whole new path of revenue. Like, it changes everything. It changes everything. Yeah, guess what? This probably isn't going back to $3 to $4 to $5. It might stay around this $14 to $19 position, because imagine, and then think about this play, because we don't know. We don't know. Imagine if they keep somewhat doubling down on these quarterlies. What if Q3 they're at 30 million? This is when things get really expensive. When expectation meets reality. And the reality is that things are getting very expensive with certain stocks. And D-Wave here is a great testament of kind of watching that progression maybe here in the next year with it. So it's an interesting play, man. It is an interesting play. It very much so. I'm very curious to see where this is going to go from here. But yeah, friends, I wish all of you the best of luck, and I will talk to you soon. I think you've had enough of me talking, but I'm very excited about the market, where it's going, everything. It's almost like an honor to be part of the market in this day and time. It's so amazing. Friends, take care of yourself. Bye, everyone.